Hello friends, in this session we are going to discuss about instrumentation and the chemical shifted shielding, deshielding of NMR spectroscopy. So before entering into that, first of all, let us see what is NMR spectroscopy and what is the main principle involved in that and what kind of signals are obtained and which type of compounds are used to give NMR signals. And next is about what is instrumentation, and finally what is chemical shift values, how can we predict NMR spectrum of unknown compound. So now let us see instrumentation of this NMR first let us see the introduction for NMR spectroscopy. NMR stands for nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, so which is given by the compound uh, because of what when any radio frequency allowed to fall on the nucleus that used to generate a secondary magnetic field, which is also called as induced magnetic field. So this induced magnetic field and external magnetic field, both when are in resonance, there is a possibility of spectrum. So this is the main cause of NMR signals or NMR spectrum for unknown compound. Okay, so here NMR spectroscopy mainly uses radio frequency. When radio frequency is allowed to fall on the molecule, the nucleus present in the molecule, that is protons present in the molecule, are responsible for that they involved in the reaction are resonance with external magnetic field. So because of that one, there is new magnetic field is generated within the molecule, which is called induced magnetic field. When angular momentum value I value becomes, so that I value is not is equal to 0, then only the molecule becomes NMR active, and that used to give the NMR signals. Okay, the simple example is hydrogen, which contains only I is equal to half. So C13 is another example for this one. So these are the molecules which are used to give NMR signals in given NMR signals for given molecule. Now we are going to see instrumentation of NMR spectroscopy. When radio frequency or radio waves are allowed to fall on the sample, here we have the sample holder. The sample holder contains a given sample which dissolved in deuterated solvent DMSO D6, otherwise deuterated chloroform, because solvent should be free from hydrogens, then only there is no interference of solvent in the spectral lines. That's the reason why we have to take great care. The solvent should be free from protons. So that's the reason why here compound should be dissolved in the deuterated solvent, either DMSO D6 or deuterated chloroform can be taken, which is suitable to dissolve the given compound. And radio frequency is allowed to fall in the compound. So the sample holder is kept in between magnetic field, one north pole and south pole. Here we are applying radio frequency, this is energy, and this is magnetic field. Both are applied on the sample so that it involved in flipping of proton, and whatever signals generated by this can be transported to detector, detector to computer, computer to recorder, recorder is the output of our signals. So the compound which absorbing this radio frequency involved in this nuclear magnetic resonance, and flipping of protons are possible, and whatever signals coming out. So this detector, the main purpose of detector is used to convert electromagnetic radiation into electrical signals. So that is the purpose of detector. Detector used to give the signal to amplifier first, amplifier used to amplify or intensify the signals, and followed by computer, computer to recorder, recorder is the output device where we can obtain the signals. Let us see how the instrumentation is possible by seeing a simple animated video. Here we can see this. So in this video we can observe
which are radio frequency generator, magnet, sample holder, sweep generator, receiver coil, amplifier, detector, and the recorder. It is also known as oscilloscope. Now coming to the working of
here radio frequency generator is there. Radio frequency generator used to give the radio frequency or radio energy is given, and here we have sample holder. The sample holder is narrow tube where we can dissolve the sample in the minute quantity, and the sample holder is kept in between the magnetic field. So this is the magnetic field. North and south pole will be there, and here we have sweep recorder. Sweep recorder is used to adjust this magnetic field strength generated by this north pole and south pole. So these are the devices which used to control the magnetic field strength generated by this magnetic field. Now, after observing the radiation by this sample holder, the signals were now transported to this amplifier. Amplifier is mainly used to intensify the signals. When signals are intensified, now it is transported to detector. Detector used to convert the signals electromagnetic radiation into electrical signals. Now signals from detector transported into recorder. So this recorder used to give the NMR spectrum or NMR signals by this output device. So this is about the simple representation of NMR spectrophotometer, where we have these two Helmholtz coils. Helmholtz coils are mainly used to adjust the magnetic field generated by this magnets present around the sample holder, so which are adjusted, which are controlled by this sweep generator. Sweep generator is mainly used to adjust these Helmholtz. So in this we have the sample present inside. So whenever radio frequency allowed to fall on that, what happens? Flipping of protons are possible. So this is the main thing happened during the irradiation of radio frequency on the compound, and finally we will get the spectrum. So in this way, so if the compound is ethyl alcohol, the signal will be CH3, CH2OH. Okay, so here CH3, it will give triplet, and CH2 it will give that CH2, because of spin coupling the signal will be given. CH2 will give quartet, actually it is not for that one. So here triplet and doublet, one demo signal is given here, which used to interpret the unknown compound which we are going to identify. So this is about the simple representation of NMR instrumentation. So instrumentation is very simple for NMR spectroscopy. Radio frequency and magnetic field are simultaneously applied in the compound. When compound absorbed by this radio frequency, some kind of changes are possible. Whatever absorbed light is there, that can be detected by detector, followed by computer, followed by recorder. Now we are going to discuss about the important topic in this NMR spectroscopy called chemical shift and shielding, deshielding. So here chemical shift is nothing but when we observe this NMR spectrum, that spectrum is obtained on the scale called delta scale. Delta scale ranges from 0 to 10 ppm values. So if we are moving towards 0, that is called upfield. If we are moving towards 10, that is called downfield. Upfield values, whenever molecule experiencing shielding effect, then values are moving towards upfield, whereas when the molecule experiencing deshielding effect, the values are moving towards downfield shift. Now let us see what is meant by shielding and what is meant by deshielding. As already we know, there are two kind of magnetic field which we are experiencing in this NMR spectroscopy. One is primary magnetic field or external magnetic field we are applying, and the second is secondary magnetic field or induced magnetic field present in the molecule. Okay, so shielding is nothing but this shielding is also called a screening constant, which is non-dimensional in nature. And what happens when induced magnetic field and applied magnetic field both are in opposite direction? If the direction of induced and external magnetic field are entirely different, are in opposite direction, that effect is called shielding effect. Whereas when induced and applied magnetic field both are in same direction or reinforcement, then it is called a deshielding effect. So effective magnetic field larger than the applied magnetic field to orient nuclear magnetic. In that case, proton is said to be deshielded. So when applied and induced magnetic field, both are in same direction, that is called a de-shielding effect. If induced and applied magnetic field both are in opposite direction, that is said to be shielding effect. Always, shielding a proton causes resonance frequency higher values, hence always shifting of values takes place towards upfield. On the other hand, de-shielding causes shift of resonance frequency towards lower value, hence we can move towards downfield value. This is about delta values or delta scale. The magnitude of the shift is measured by the term called chemical shift. Chemical shift is simply defined as positioning or shifting of signals on delta scale of NMR spectroscopy is due to shielding and de-shielding effect generated between induced and applied magnetic field. This total phenomena is called chemical shift value. Chemical shift values of any functional group mainly used to measure number of equivalent set of protons present in the given compound. It is not the measure of number of protons, but number of equivalent set of protons can be measured by this chemical shift. Chemical shift is the important parameter in this NMR spectroscopy. Chemical shift is nothing but position of signals in delta scale of NMR spectroscopy are mainly due to shielding and de-shielding effect, which are generated by induced and applied magnetic field. If induced and applied magnetic field both are in same direction of rotation, or both are in alignment, that is called a de-shielding effect. If both are in opposite direction, alignment against with respect to external magnetic field, that is called a shielding effect. Always shielding shift the values towards upfield, de-shielding shift the values towards downfield. In this delta scale or NMR spectroscopy, the standard compound taken is TMS, which is called tetramethylsilane. Particularly, we can measure in terms of, we can use this tetramethylsilane in proton NMR spectroscopy, which simply pronounced as PMR. PMS contains 12 equivalent protons. Here, silicon surrounded by 4 methyl functional groups, hence we can say 12 equivalent protons are present in this, and which gives only one signal for the compound. Even though 12 protons are present, but 12 protons are equivalent, exactly equivalent in nature. That's the reason why we will see only one signal. Always this tetramethylsilane is taken as the internal standard in NMR spectroscopy. We have few reasons to choose TMS as the internal standard. The specifications of TMS to choose as the internal standard is, one is silicon low electronegative element, that's why always shift what signal is appeared at upfield. With respect to all organic compounds, its value is still higher, hence it is arbitrarily fixed as 0. The peak appeared for tetramethylsilane is fixed as 0 ppm on delta scale. With respect to this tetramethylsilane, all the remaining signals will be appeared just beside this compound only. Hence, it is taken as the internal standard. And the second is, it is able to dissolve so many organic compounds in it. That's why there is no problem of solubility. So it is used to soluble most of the organic compounds in it. And third is, it is highly volatile in nature. That's the reason why need not to go for any special methods of purification. By simple evaporation, we can remove this tetramethylsilane. So it is easy to remove. So this is the structure of tetramethylsilane silicon surrounded by 4 methyl groups in tetrahedral structure. Induced magnetic field and resultant magnetic field both are in opposite direction, hence we can say it is the shielding effect. Shielding effect is present in the molecule, that's the reason why always here it is appeared at upfield. And we already know that what NMR spectrum is measured on delta scale. This delta is given by separation in Hertz by oscillator frequency into 10 to the power of 6. So by using this formula, it is possible to calculate this delta value. Separation in Hertz is nothing but how, at what frequency we are observing the signal by oscillator frequency. For example, if we are taking proton NMR, we can take 100 frequency. If it is C13 NMR 400 oscillator frequency was taken into 10 to the power of 6 so that we will get delta value. So this 10 to the power of 6 factor introduced in order to record the chemical shift as a convenient value. That's why it is the convenient factor only, and these values are ranges from 1 to 10 measured in the form of parts per million or ppm. Chemical shift values or frequency is shown in the following example. For example, chemical shift observed value is present at 60, and 40 into 10 to the power of 6 is oscillator frequency into 10 to the power of 6. When applied, 10 to the power of 6 is 6 get cancelled, and 1.5 ppm. The signal appeared at 1.5 ppm. So this indicates that the given compound having the functional group which appeared at 1.5 ppm. In this way, we can manually calculate. Otherwise, directly that instrument will give. Apart from this delta scale, we have another term called tau scale. The signals of NMR also appeared, recorded in the form of tau scale. Tau is related to this delta scale by taking tau is equal to 10 minus delta. So tau scale is completely reversed to delta scale. If the values in case of delta scale are towards upfield, here the values towards 10 it will be. So this is about delta scale and tau scale. Tau is equal to 10 minus delta. So if the delta value is 1, now tau value becomes 9. So in that way, values are completely reversed with respect to delta scale. So position of the signals on in the NMR spectroscopy. When we are taking the same compound having different functional groups on that, based on its electronegativity, the values are varied. We are taking methyl iodide, methyl bromide, methyl chloride, and methyl fluoride, where tau scale values we are going to measure here. Tau scale value for methyl iodide is 7.8, bromide is 7.3, chloride is 6.9, fluoro is 5.7. That means it clearly indicates that when electronegativity of this functional group increases, values are obviously shifting towards downfield because they are experiencing deshielding effect. As the electronegativity increases, deshielding effect increases. When deshielding effect increases, always values are moving towards downfield. When we are taking carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, oxygen is obviously more electronegative. That's why values are moving towards downfield with respect to this methyl functional group. Even though methyl group is same and these signals are given for this hydrogen only, but based on the electronegativity of the adjacent functional group, the values are shifting towards downfield as the electronegativity increases. This is the influence of electronegativity on chemical shift values. Greater the electronegativity, greater will be the shifting towards downfield because of deshielding effect. Examples of shielding and deshielding, this is also called anisotropic effect. Anisotropic effect is nothing but when we are changing the orientation or direction of the compound, their properties also changed. If the properties are not changed in all possible direction, that is called isotropic effect. But by changing position, their properties are changed, hence it is called anisotropic effect. Electrons are taken in this carbon-carbon triple bonded compound. Carbon-carbon triple bonded compound experiences shielding effect. That's the reason why always values are in shielding or otherwise upfield. So we will see the signal of this carbon-carbon triple bond in the range of 2.5 ppm because this acetylene molecule is in shielding zone. Because of shielding zone, values are in upfield, whereas carbonyl compound we are taking, otherwise carbon-carbon double bond we can take. This is horizontally oriented, and always this carbonyl compound have deshielding effect with respect to induced and with respect to external magnetic field. Because of deshielding effect, aldehyde proton will experience a signal in the range of 9 to 10 ppm, which is extremely downfield. So this is mainly because of anisotropic effect. Anisotropic effect is nothing but by changing the orientation, their shielding and deshielding effects are changed, so that signal position is also entirely changed. Acetylene will give signal at 2.5, whereas aldehyde gives signal at 9 to 10 ppm. This is because acetylene experiencing shielding effect because of its vertical orientation, whereas aldehyde experiencing de-shielding effect because of its vertical orientation. This is called anisotropic effect. So let us see one more molecule. This is called benzene ring. Benzene ring is experiencing ring current. So benzene is an aromatic compound which have circulating delocalized system above and below of the plane. This is called ring current. This ring current is deshielding or what reinforced with respect to applied field. That's the reason why all are in the same direction, same alignment. So it experiences de-shielding effect. Because of de-shielding effect of aromatic protons, protons will appear in the range of ring protons will appear in the range of 6 to 8 ppm. We can easily identify aromatic protons present in the given compound because aromatic protons will give complex signal in the range of 6 to 8 ppm. It is the characteristic peak for aromatic hydrogens only. This is also because of de-shielding effect. So this is about shielding, de-shielding and instrumentation of NMR spectroscopy. Let us revise again. NMR stands for nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So here, because of spinning nucleus that used to generate a new induced magnetic field because of irradiation of radio frequency. So induced magnetic field used to give the signal in NMR spectroscopy. So that is mainly due to flipping a proton by the irradiation with radio energy. In the instrumentation, radio frequency and magnetic field strength simultaneously supplied to the compound which is kept in the sample folder. Whatever changes occurred further, the signals are sent to the amplifier to detector, detector to computer, computer to recorder. Recorder finally give the output of the signal. So in this way we can take we can find the signals or spectrum for the given compound in NMR spectroscopy. NMR spectroscopy, the important principle is chemical shift values. Chemical shift values are measured on the delta scale. These chemical shift values are mainly determined or influenced by shielding and de-shielding effect of the protons. Shielding is nothing but applied and induced magnetic field. Both are in opposite direction is called shielding effect. Both are in same direction is called de-shielding effect. I hope this session is very much useful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.